I think it went very well. First, Anwar is upbeat at the moment. He's very thankful to know that the Yang di-Pertuan Agong, or the king, is recovering very well. So this matter started 20 days ago. It's been a long wait, but I think it's worthwhile.
Do you think the fact that the king is now going to consult more broadly is an indication that perhaps he's not convinced by what Anwar put before him today?
Well, there is a process here, yeah. But the key point is Anwar and the king both agreed that the federal constitution should be upheld and that the constitutional due process to take place. So accordingly, Anwar will present the numbers he has, and the king will need to verify. And I think the process started today. The king has called a very senior member of parliament, Tunku Razali. He's a 12th-term MP, and they had a long discussion. And apparently, this will continue throughout tomorrow and the day after, and until when the king is happy that he can verify and fully digest the situation.
The police had said that they were going to be interviewing some MPs whose names appeared on this list that Anwar has put together. Could some MPs be playing both sides in terms of who they're going to support?
I don't think the police will be taking a lot of, position on this matter. And they will probably, like most civil servants, wait and see what happens. Now, it is no secret that in Malaysia, members of parliament do switch from side to side. We've seen this happen for countless of years and through many elections. So I won't be surprised if a member of parliament has signed a document on to show support to a certain party and probably sign for the other side too. That is why you can't really celebrate and pop the champagne, so to speak. You really have to go through the process, and the king has to be convinced. So Anwar has asked everybody to remain calm and let the due process take place. But we are still very confident.
Yes, but what gives you that confidence? I mean, how certain are you that if someone has signed up with Anwar that they are really going to be behind him when push comes to shove?
Well, the issue is about crossing 112 members of parliament. What we know is the current government has a majority of 3 MP. And we've seen a lot of activities amongst the UMNO party in particular, where they've voiced their dissatisfaction with the Prime Minister. So I'm sure the Prime Minister has lost majority support. Now, does that then translate to Anwar? Very likely, because I don't think anybody is in the right mind to see a hung parliament or a government that cannot function. And with the COVID-19 situation, I think most would like to see a government continue rather than completely in disarray and we have to go for a snap election.
Yeah, and that's my next question for you. If the king agrees Anwar has the numbers, could it be as simple as a very smooth transfer of power?
It should be the case because that's what happened in late February, early March. That's how the new government took their place. It was a meeting where the king asked individual MPs to come in and to state our position, who do we support. And then immediately after that, they announced that the Malaysian government should form. So I would see that the precedent being set, that we will continue the same or similar process to that.
If there is no change, if the king is not convinced, will that be the end of the matter, do you think?
Then we will have to wait and see until the budget. The budget is coming out. It will be tabled on the 6th of November. But the very first vote on the budget, which happens on the policy level, that's slated for 23rd of November. So he needs a majority support. If the budget fails for whatever reasons, then the government has to technically resign because that's a finance bill. In which case, there will be a problem, a constitutional crisis. So I think most people will see that there's no requirement to go through that process and that we should decide once and for all within the next couple of days, I suppose, whoever should be Prime Minister and put the matter to rest.
It's because you are talking of COVID earlier. You are facing quite a spike in numbers. Some parts of the country are going back into lockdown. Is that playing badly for the Prime Minister?
It is, because the Prime Minister's real legitimacy or semi-legitimacy in the issue has been about his performance in COVID-19. But this current spike is due to the fact there was a political backdoor maneuver yet again in Malaysia, which toppled the Sabah government, and we went into a statewide election. And a lot of politicians went to campaign. There seemed to be double standards on the quarantine procedure. As a result, the spike happened, and people just hate politicians from both sides. And they blame the Prime Minister in particular for this.
So you're talking about a couple of days. What is your tip as to when this all might be resolved?
Well, if I have to bet, I'll say maybe Friday, because Friday is like a holy day. It's quite a good thing to try and get some settlement on the issue, but we know for certain that the king will be very busy in the next few days.
I bet he will. Good to talk. Thanks so much for joining us, Wong Chen.
Thank you.